I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
I swear to you. I feel like I need to do limbs. Hey!
Hey!
What's up, everybody? Y'all are joining us for another episode of the Outsider After Show. Tonight we are talking Season 1, Episode 7. Lots to talk about, lots happening. Thank y'all so much for joining us. If you're in the live chat, let us know what you thought because I have it pulled up right here. We want to shout y'all out and answer any of your questions. I'm your host, April Wissenhant, joined by my number one lady, the Allison Dean.
I am here. And hello, we're going to talk about this one.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah, well, I was going to say a lot happened in this episode, but then I was like, a lot didn't happen in this episode.
They really made me think a lot was going to happen by the trailer last week. Yeah. I was convinced we were going to have tons of momentum. I think they're doing this on purpose. You know, it's that slow tension, the building, the mounting suspense around, you know, what's happening.
Right.
We're slowly uncovering pieces. You know, I did think it was going to move faster, but I think a lot of what was revealed, I think is going to really be very significant in the final 3 episodes.
Yeah.
I cannot believe there's only 3 episodes left.
Right. It's insane. Like, I don't understand how these things happen so fast. I watched tonight it was like a, behind the scenes thing that HBO did for episodes 5, 6, and 7.
Oh.
And it was really interesting to get the actors' take on some of the stuff that they did. And they shot, especially when it came to tonight, because you can kind of tell that they, I would say, like, knew that this episode was going to be a little, let's say, slower, but they definitely said the main focus of the whole episode was going to be about the car ride with Jack and Holly. And obviously that's where majority of like the information that we get to kind of move the story along, I feel like came from as well. But so much technically did happen in this episode other than that to move it forward, but I feel like that's the main thing. But I have to ask right off because it like is going to bug me if I don't. So obviously we see them in the car.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the episode, Holly seemingly has this nightmare.
Yeah.
Where Jack has the keys. She does not have another set of keys, and then he shoots her.
Right.
And then she wakes up and screams, and she's standing in this room. What's your take on that?
Well,
Before I say anything.
I think it's the fact that the Kuko, demon, whatever being it is, right, is somehow infiltrating her mind as well, right? So there's some controls there that are happening, and we know that because when she was on the bus headed towards everyone, you know, she had that frantic wake up, like the bus was gonna run into like a semi or something.
Yeah.
So I didn't think it was anything surprising.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is in line with, you know, Kuko demon thing is trying to like I don't know, capitalize on whatever sort of fear around whatever's happening. And also the fact that it's got to be scary being in that car with Jack, though. I mean, she had no idea what was going to go down.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
know? So,
I mean, so you got to hear me out on this because I know it's kind of a little ridiculous, but I started putting things together in the episode that happened. The moment where Ralph, and I think he's talking to Alec at this point, and they say, you know, why was Jack taking her here? He was actually driving 2 hours out of the way, out of this thing.
Yeah.
And then she kind of has, she has this moment where, I'm going to forget his name, but Yule, except I think that's his name in real life. Eunice. His real name is Yule. He, at the moment where he asked her if she's ever seen Claude, which is the strip club manager or whatever.
Yes.
And she seemingly seems like maybe she has at some point, but she definitely says no. And this whole thing started popping into my mind as I'm like, oh my God, what if he's using her, El Cuco, through Jack is using her in some way? And it's like, what if they're setting her up almost? Because now it's like, wait, what's the reason for all of these other things happening? And then she's having this major nightmare. I was like, what if that wasn't a nightmare? I mean, I don't think she's dead or anything like that, but it just didn't I think to me, it meant more than just like it's a regular old nightmare like everyone else is.
Interesting.
And maybe because of how she woke up. So I thought you were going to have like a hot take on that as well, for sure. Because the second that it happened, I was like, I don't think what she thinks happened actually happened, which is what happened with Terry and the other accused people.
I don't know. I think because of the discovery around Claude, so the fact that she connected that piece in that, in the room with everyone.
Yeah.
I think that was the really significant takeaway. Mm-hmm. This guy, Claude, could be the linchpin for something bigger, or we need to start keeping our eyes on this guy because the not real Terry scratched this dude.
Right.
And so based on everything that Holly knows about the chain of events with everyone previously, she understands that he's like the next, I don't know.
Right. And that's what I thought as well.
Yeah.
But for some reason, when I thought about it at the end, I was like, why did she kind of look like she had seen him? And like, we know she has the best memory of any person on this show and maybe any person in the world in this story.
That's
so
interesting.
I'm like, why did she look like she kind of has seen him? So I definitely agree with you. Like now that she knows this about, that Ralph kept this fact that Terry may or may not have scratched Claude, like that obviously says, okay, I'm upset because he could be the next chain. This could be exactly how we stop it.
Yeah.
But it's thinking that she's seen him before this even happens. That's where it's kind of like throwing me a little bit.
How much of the surveillance videos and stuff did she see of
That's a good point.
Terry? I don't know. Yeah, see, that's the part where I don't recall her sitting and watching any video where Ralph sent her videos of everything.
Right.
It seemed like her first MO was to go out to
Dayton.
And and sort of, pull that string and unwind that ball of yarn.
Yeah.
So I wasn't, I guess, that surprised that she was not like, oh, it's Claude.
Right, exactly. Oh, Claude.
Right.
I didn't even know his name when I saw him. I was like, the strip club manager.
Yeah. And I think it was it's like the Stephen King thing, of just, like one final crazy moment to keep you on edge or something. So I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm not reading into it the way I should be, which is totally possible.
No,
but I guess
you're normally right. So
I guess I'm just thinking bad dream because Kuko's starting to make her go a little. But
Cuckoo.
I was happy to see that Andy wants to step in, and
right.
I was very pleased about that.
I was surprised the look on her face whenever he showed up. I was like, maybe she does kind of like him.
She likes him.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that she initially when he showed up and she was like, "What are you doing here?" and then was like, "Ah!" Which I when she did that reaction.
Yeah.
I thought, who is this person?
I was saying,
but
I've never seen her smile before.
I know. I was like, she loves him.
She does.
She loves. But I also was happy to see. So I think it's really important that you've someone like Andy who is spotting the fact that there's a lot of strange things going on.
Right.
Holly certainly is seeing that. Ralph's wife is 100% experiencing it and seeing it. Then you got Alec who's on board.
Right.
You have Eunice who's on board. So all these people, it's like a growing
phenomenon.
Gang of people.
Yeah.
That
believing this supernatural thing, potentially.
Yeah. And then really and I think now it's starting to shift too with Ralph.
Yeah.
Who we know is, I think kind of our hero.
Yeah.
So, they're
he's
putting
the protagonist.
Yeah,
he
right. And so I feel, again, we're trying to see this really grand arc.
Mm-hmm.
They want us to see where he's shifted, he's accepted the supernatural or whatever that looks like, understands that police work is above and beyond things
what
that he might
Right. I definitely think that's his arc, and that's where they kind of took us tonight, is having him see even kind of starting to think about it. The fact that he called his therapist super late at night.
That was huge.
Exactly. And he's like, I don't know, I've been having these dreams, whatever. We see multiple times him thinking back on this dream throughout other episodes, and just even the way that he was staring at the chair where she said Kuko was technically at the very beginning, and now the chair's not there and he's all weirded out. I definitely think that's him. Like, can he start believing this? But I'm like, I hope the whole arc of the show is, do they figure it out?
I know.
But I don't know.
I know.
Before, I definitely want to talk about the whole car scene and everything that meant, of course. But we do have we have Terry's wife, Glory, and the kids. She's going back to work. I thought this was a little interesting part of the show. It almost seems like they're kind of just tossing it by the wayside. I didn't think it was... To me, it almost seems like, do we need to know this? I think they're including her in there because... she wants to see him exonerated, obviously, but just like the whole scene, she's going back to work and then she quickly goes off on the first family that she even meets and she just isn't ready. Oh, maybe they should move. It seemed a little like hokey pokey, a little to me.
I don't disagree with you. I think I'm also curious because of her resistance to everything. The fact that she cannot in any aspect believe that this could be something called El Cuco,
right.
Like let's get back to reality, folks. I'm offended.
Yeah.
So I wonder if in the next 3 episodes there'll be any shift for her as well, or what that looks like, because there's a reason why we're still seeing her, and there's a reason why. It's got to be somewhat intentional. I'm really hoping there's a purpose here. Like, and I'm hoping the purpose is tying into her having a greater understanding or some resolve about Terry or whatever that looks like.
I'm hoping that her purpose isn't going to be deathly in some way, because like we talked about before, so many of the family members have died, and she did lose her husband 3 weeks ago, and he's accused of murder and all of that stuff, but like she ain't looking good.
Yeah,
I think they're kind of doing that on purpose. JS in chat says Ralph is ruining everything. Move aside and let the women take over. I like that. Absolutely.
Hello.
But yeah, I think she's there for a reason. But
yeah, I don't know.
Like,
I know.
Well, of course she's not ready to go back to work yet. What are you talking about?
That kind of leads me into special segment now, but I don't know.
Not yet.
I was like that. Literally, I'm like, you're talking about exactly what I want to bring up. But okay, moving along.
Okay. I feel like a lot of the stuff that Jack said to Holly in the car tonight was before, obviously, I'm going to say, quote unquote, got away. Because maybe she didn't, but I think she did. I was surprised at how that went down. Even the fact that he was like, hey, look at my neck. The fact that he was kind of he seems to me to be looking for a way out of the situation.
Well, I think it's clear that he's tormented, right?
Yeah.
So he's definitely, he's not totally of his mind, but he's not totally out of his mind either, right? So he still has a piece of himself,
right,
where he's exercising his own logic towards things and asking, like, why is this happening to me? And Holly had the exact perfect answer. This thing, it's living off of your pain.
Right.
And Jack is, he seemed tormented before all this happened, right?
Well, that's what she said. He finds people that have been through pain and are basically like agonized currently by something in life. And he's like, that was me from the time I was little with my mom and everything. That's why maybe his mom, beat him to a pulp last week.
I thought it was very significant for Holly to have had that level of dialogue with him.
Yeah.
Because she certainly didn't get that back in Dayton with
not Heath, but Heath's cousin.
Yeah. And so I think she needed some insight into what, this is now the second bubble neck that she has seen where she's putting connections together on that front.
Right.
So the fact that she really got to have a discussion with him and could honestly see that this guy he's struggling.
Right.
And we don't know what the answer is to make this go away for him. I think she knew that he was set out to harm her.
Right.
I think she 100% could figure that out because nothing was making sense. He was getting aggressive when she wanted to like turn back around and pick something up. But then he was also being somewhat pleasant in other ways. So
That's what just doesn't make sense to me, because I forget exactly what he said at the moment, but like he is having this very open conversation where he, like I said, shows her his neck. And then it even, she asks, like, why didn't you stop me from going to the meeting? Why didn't you stop me? If this thing is
he was
clearly
fine.
trying to do this. But, like, why were you basically, like, you had me reveal all of this information to everybody? If she kept that under wraps, which clearly El Cuco would want to have happened, then, because that's what they're saying, that's why people are saying that's why, El Cuco had him beat up by his dead mother, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But so it was interesting to me in the car that I forget exactly what he said, but El Cuco, hurts him, or he has that, like, the blinding pain.
Oh,
basically,
yeah, right.
After he said one thing. But then I'm like, he's saying a whole lot of other stuff. Why isn't he, like, stopping him completely? That's what I was kind of like, is he not watching all the time? Maybe that's when he's, like, with his other little minions. I don't know. But, I mean, I don't think it's that deep. But it was just interesting to me because I was like, you're kind of getting away with murder a little bit right here. Like, you're saying a lot. You're giving a lot of information. You're letting her ask you a lot of questions.
It's true.
And, then one random thing is said and then you finally get, like, taken out.
Controlling and evil. Right. I'm on your page on all that stuff. It was definitely interesting and confusing for me to watch too, since he wasn't obviously possessed by this thing the entire car ride.
Exactly.
It was fleeting moments of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are things kind of happening in between while they're in the car scene that we're, like, going back and forth to. But one in particular that I want to point out is when Ralph goes to Detective Collins' house, Tamika, and she answers the door, a little disheveled. Obviously, she has a newborn baby, whatever. And that's at some point during this conversation, he's like, how have you been? How are you? She's like, never met her.
I know.
But we see the flash of, the hooded man in front of her baby's crib. So clearly she's getting visits as well. So this is where I'm like, what's the point of her getting visits at this point? Because she could have said something about Jack?
Maybe. The thing about it is she literally has no context of anything going on. So she has no idea the level of information that Ralph has around this whole thing. And also Jack's participation and what all this looks like. She literally is in the dark.
Right.
So I don't know if it's a level of, because of her relationship with Jack, she's kind of not wanting to say anything. Like, no, nothing weird has happened.
But why would El Cuco visit her, essentially? She's the one that saw him in front of her baby's crib. So, like, that's where I'm wondering where her connection is. Like, I don't think her connection or her character is just here for nothing. I don't think it's a filler character.
I mean, I hope her baby's not going to be taken.
Well, yeah. Oh, God. Oh, I forgot.
I hope Claude's not going to be, like, the one coming in and doing some stuff to the baby.
Right. Well, because Holly does say at one point, she's like, he, if anything, would go for the kids. But basically, when he's starved, he'll go for other people.
Oh, see, I don't know if I believe that. I feel like it's kids.
I think it's just a thing that, like, she doesn't know yet.
Right.
Basically.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
She's workshopping here.
I know.
So who knows?
She's doing a fine job. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I was I thought it was interesting that when Ralph and Alec go to Jack's apartment, everything is still just messed up. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought it would be fixed, but I basically thought they were gonna, like, Harry Potter that thing.
No, because I think his mission right now is, like, take out Holly, and so he's being possessed till that's the end game, and cleaning his apartment up and disinfecting it and painting the walls. I mean,
number one priority.
I'm like, who the heck is gonna clean all that? Oh, God.
I don't think anybody's
when that was happening, I was literally like, this is a cleaning nightmare.
I know, right?
Yeah.
We're ridiculous.
Yeah.
When Jack finally stops, Holly says she has to use the bathroom. Did you think she's getting away?
I did not. Based on how it was all going down, I was very surprised at how she got away.
Do you not want to keep an extra set of keys in your purse now? Like a full extra set of keys? Because that's what she had. He had the set of keys in the car, right? Didn't she leave them in there?
Yeah. It was almost like there was two fobs or something. Like
exactly,
a backup.
And then she had another one in her purse.
Which I was surprised because normally for a rental car, they just give you one. So I was like, interesting.
Wait, was it not her car?
No, it was like
a rental. Oh, duh, because she doesn't live there.
It was a rental thing.
Unless we totally saw that different, but I saw her leave.
Unless she bought that car.
I could have sworn I saw her leave the key in the thing because they made
a point. And her phone.
They made a point. Well, he asked for her phone.
Yeah.
They made a point of showing it in the cup holder. And then, like, she went to the bathroom and had another.
Thank goodness.
But I was literally like, I need to keep an extra set.
You never know when you gotta, like, ski-daddle.
Right. Yeah. But I thought it was genius how she did it, throwing the thing out And I was like, oh gosh, she's gonna run out.
But how did
whatever.
she know that he was going to be outside the door hearing the noise and then run to the back so that she could run out the front door? I mean, to me...
She's a private investigator. She's good at this kind of stuff. She knows. And, like, Jack is a detective. So, you know, once she's in there for so long,
I know,
he's going to, like, come
suspicious.
up and see, like, what's happening. But it was genius either way.
It was definitely genius.
It was some genius level.
I
like,
agree with you. I was
stuff.
like, now you know you use the top of the toilet to break the window. Perfect.
When she kind of gets back or everyone regroups at Ralph's house, this is the part of the show where I was like, huh? Because it was like all this build up for kind of an anticlimactic moment. Like we have everyone out searching for her. All of this stuff is happening. And then it was like, hey, I'm here. I just thought could have been maybe done a little different.
Yeah. And they didn't really, there wasn't any conversation yet about what's going on with Jack.
Well, no, I mean, and she kind of touched on it, like whenever at that point, like nothing. They're just wondering, oh, where
is
they?
he?
Yeah, their phones are pinging in the same place, whatever. Yeah. But even once she gets there, the whole conversation is, you know, he was going to eliminate me. I think the best part of information that she gave, though, and maybe you differ on this, but was how she said that the bubble neck is how he communicates with them. So I think it's true because I think it's definitely, I don't think he's like talking through it and like sending them messages, but it's definitely the way that he's
it's a control mechanism.
He's like, this is bad.
Yeah.
Because that's where the pain happens, seemingly, is in the neck. But he is talking to them in some way. Like we've seen Jack multiple times be like, okay, what do you want me to do now?
Right.
And like all the times where he's in the woods and stuff like that. I think even in the scene tonight where Jack's in the woods and, you know, looks like he's about to kill himself, because that's what that we're thinking El Cuco's goal for this person ultimately is. It even seemed like he was like getting messages then. But I think his mind is just a little too strong to be completely taken over at this point.
Yeah. It's all not clear.
It's very unclear. I think that I hope this is funny because my roommate was actually watching this with me and he hasn't watched any of the rest, and he was like, it's weird because I feel like I'm supposed to think this guy's a bad guy,
but I don't.
But he's like, but I think he's a good guy. And like in tonight's episode, I was like, no, he's bad. And I was like, well, actually, he maybe kind of isn't. Like he can't help that this thing happened to him, and you know he's doing basically like what he's being told to do. But at least she was like smart enough to get away.
I don't know. Next week's episode better give me more nuggets. I think for me right now, the piece that I'm also still struggling with is the fact that Claude right now, like we're seeing that he's having some, it seems like he's struggling with something, right? Like he's seemingly kind of possessed.
Right.
But I don't feel as though, or obviously we didn't see Terry before all this went down. That, I guess, would have been helpful if Terry or if one of the daughters was saying, oh, my dad was acting funny. Or just if, like, we had some context around some behavior that was not normal from the
Terry.
framed murdering people.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and I guess that's, like, our job to figure out, obviously. Carlos in chat says, Carlos Hernandez, I should say, says Jack seems conflicted. He knows he's doing wrong, but at the same time, he knows he can't fight back. And that's important. I mean, multiple times they said tonight, you know, it always ends in death for that person. They talked about the last guy who had the, I think he was one of the guys who had the bubble necks that like shot up everybody. And then killed himself.
Well, he didn't. He just had a lot of shooters on him. Like he was holding a gun to someone else.
Oh yeah. But like, you know, they all end up dying in some way. It's all very confusing. Anything else from the episode that we missed before we get into our special segment?
I think we need to shout out the person that sent us an email.
Well, oh yeah, I was going to talk about during predictions because it's kind of a prediction, but now is a perfect time. Shout out to Boomer, by the way, for the amazing email that you sent to us. He basically sent an email breaking down a really good prediction, kind of suggesting that maybe there's a female and a male.
So interesting.
Well, let's say elk creature / El Cuco. There are multiple things at this point. Like there's the OG, the #1 El Cuco. We know that for sure. But then there are like, let's say what I call now his minions.
Yeah, his minions.
The bubble neck, the scratched person. Like I think there's a total of 3. But he's basically saying that the 2 of these creatures coming together is almost like a mating ritual.
So interesting.
But we really appreciate the email, and it was amazing. I wish I could read more of it because it was actually really insightful and interesting. So let us know if y'all agree with that.
And send us more emails.
Yeah, we love it. And definitely shout everything out in the comments. I'm reading everything y'all are saying in chat right now, and it's amazing. Let's do our special segment, Hindsight.
Yeah, so Hindsight, which we kind of... Oh, yes, let's get the Hindsight music going.
Hindsight.
I feel like I have to adjust my Hindsight voice. Yeah, so my hindsight this week is, why would Glory go back to work knowing that she literally, her normal MO is full on defensive with really anyone she's in contact with, right? So if you're trying to sell a house and get some commish, I don't feel like you're in any position, because you know people are going to be ogling you and stuff. You know people are going to be coming in and going, oh my God, this is the
This is her.
And you are not prepared. You're not prepared for that.
No.
Like her typical, just the way she is just to punch back.
Right.
You ain't selling no houses that way.
You ain't selling no houses, girl. She should not have done that.
Right?
But she's going to make money somehow. But well, guess what? Now she's going to sue.
Right, now she's gonna sue. I know.
But
now,
sue who? That's the question.
A lot of entities.
I hope
she's
so.
gonna sue many entities.
Yes.
Ugh.
All right, let's do some predictions. 3 episodes left.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I like what I'm reading in chat right now from JS. Says, I'm worried for Terry's kids and Tamika's baby. There's a reason there in the story. Absolutely. I kind of feel the same way. Like everyone has targeted only children, everyone. The main source of the people that are originally murdered are children, the boy, you know. And so that's gotta be kind of the ultimate goal. Do I want to see kids die? No. But I think there's definitely a reason why they're showing us this. For me, I definitely think at this point, you know, it's like trying to tie all of these little loose ends together.
Many. Yeah.
I definitely think that Claude is in some sort of like the transition that Terry was in. And so I think like we always like to remind y'all, we have not read the book, so we are solely going off of what we've seen only on the show. I think if the goal is, or if they actually do kind of figure it out and stop it, that they're basically that he's gonna be the catalyst for this. Claude is. I think he's gonna be the one that kind of like, I don't know whether they like catch him doing something or whatever, or they basically get to him before it happens and are able to just stop it. I don't know how they would do it, because to me, I mean, in my mind, I just think he has to die. But I don't think they're gonna just like shoot him once they find him. So, but I do think he would have a lot to do with stopping El Cuco at this point.
I think my hope is, now that they really kind of understand that Claude and Jack are subjects of interest, persons of interest, beings of interest, I don't know. I'm hoping that they put like 24/7 surveillance on both of them.
Right.
Like, it's not about like putting a phone tap on. These guys aren't calling anyone. But I think it's like having a visual on every single thing these things are doing, people are doing.
Unless one of them, El Cuco or the Hooded Man or what,
has already replicated the other one.
Exactly.
Right, which would have been, I mean, in my feeling, it would be Claude getting replicated.
Yeah.
Well, next week we're seeing that there is a kid that's taken, and it's not Tamika's baby, and it's not
Terry's kids.
No. So I'm curious to see how that plays out, and I'm curious to see, because again, they all know that something is going to go down. I really do think that they have a sense that,
well, it's been 3 weeks.
Right. Like, the time is now.
Yeah.
So next week's episode, I think, I keep saying this every week, I'm like, I think next week's episode is going to really give us a lot of information.
Exactly.
I can't say that this week's didn't, because it did. It did. And it like, the fact that they're all more attentive and getting on board with the fact that this is not something that you can think about in the normal fashion, I think that's significant. But yeah, next week, yeah.
Carlos Hernandez says, well, they have to know that Claude is the most likely next target.
Right. That's
this
the
point
piece.
they do, yeah.
That's the piece where I'm really hoping they say, okay, there's going to be someone that looks like Claude.
Yeah. And hopefully they've seen, I just hope they're able to like get Jack. Basically, like put the man in a padded cell.
Well,
for
that's
a
what I was
little bit
thinking
and
too.
See what happens.
Right.
I know that's bad. You can't really detain someone, but like we're dealing with the supernatural, so let's put him in a padded cell where he can't get in. I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Jack actually can survive this.
Yeah.
Or like, is someone that has bubble neck, are they able to resume normal life at some point? Or is
Right.
it just,
Are they
oh
fried?
no, you die.
Yeah.
You will die.
Well, I can't wait to find out. That's
know,
for sure.
I know.
Thank y'all so much for joining us in chat, and everyone that's going to watch after. Make sure to stay in contact with us. We want to know your thoughts, your predictions for the rest of the show, everything. Give us a thumbs up, 5 stars, all that great stuff. I'm your host, April Wissenhant. Y'all can find me everywhere at April Wissenhant.
And I'm Allison Dean. You can find me at the Allison Dean, pretty much on, I don't know, the things that I'm on.
All
those things.
Everything, basically.
Yeah.
We will see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.